Hi everyone, so I hope you're well. I'm gonna start here today with a art journal page, and I hope you can learn something. And I think art journal digitally can be as relaxing as art journal, when we do on paper, and I wanted to show you the fun of it. And first I'm gonna start. Usually when I do the digital art journals, I do 8x10. So today my Wacom drive is not working because this is a new computer, and because of the Mac iOS Sonoma, Wacom as always is late to have a release of their update, so the driver is not working yet. So I'm going to do everything on the mouse. So if you don't have a Wacom, that's a great opportunity. So I'm going to be using today my Cozy kit, and I wanted to do kind of a imitating kind of an art journal page. So I'm going to give you an example. So let's get it started. First, I have here 8x10, and I have here the kit. And the Cozy comes with a Cozy brush set, and I'm gonna make sure it's here. It's a little sample of a brush. So, and let's get it started. I'm gonna open a paper as a base for us, and I'm gonna start with this watercolor paper here. So we just transfer there, and then we can get started. So I want to start with a little bit of stenciling because, I love to use a lot of stenciling and painting in my real art journal. You can check that on my Instagram. And by the way, my Instagram is basically my art process that I come to create my kits. Many of my supplies, brushes, and everything and papers all come from my paintings that I do on my real art journals or paintings. So you can take a look, and you can buy also my art and my website as well. So we have stencils, digital stencils, and I have a whole video about that. But if you don't know, digital stencils, they are actually digital stencils and cut files, which means that we can use it digitally here, but if you will have a die cutter, electronic die cutter like I have as a Cricut or things like that, you can actually cut and make real stencils with it. So I want to use in the same way. The versatility here is that for us, this cannot be used just as stencils, but this can be used as elements, as piece of paper in the page. The possibilities are endless here. So, but first I want to start with some texture. So I'm gonna start first with this one, and we're gonna start stenciling. So one character that I know I want to have here from the kit, and let me go back there. So I want to have this cute girl here that I painted. I painted this girl in Procreate. And, well, first I painted her on my sketchbook with pencil, and then I painted her in Procreate. So I want to pick up some colors from here. So I'm going to go here and get some, maybe this reddish. Okay, let me put this purple because I love purple. So okay, so we have that. So let's start here. I'm gonna close this. We don't need this stencil anymore. So first I'm gonna just make sure where I want this stencil to be giving me the texture. And I don't need to use this whole part, but what we're gonna do is first Option Alt, and I'm gonna click. It's actually Command Control and click, and then we're gonna select. And what I'm going to do, we're going to go to select and inverse. Okay, so I'm going to start a new layer, and let's go there to the brush. I'm going to start with the cozy one. It's a nice texturized, full of color. So I'm gonna go there. So if I remove this, you can see there, but I want to remove the flow. And again, if you don't have a walk-on, you cannot control how much, so it all comes on the same flow. So that's why if you're using a mouse, having the opacity and flow here, it will help you a lot to control a little bit. I don't want this color to be so. And now let me use maybe this texture here, because it's already texturized, and with the stencil it's gonna look great. Okay, so looking great. All right, yeah, and I'm going to move this here, and we still have in the selection, and another layer, and going with the same brush, just gonna do a little bit, reduce the opacity there. Okay, there we go. So now Command Control D, and I can remove this. I'm gonna use another one but later. So now you can see that is really distressed, and we create that stencil effect, correct? What else we can do? I want more layers, because our journal is all about the layers, right? So let's see what we can create now. We can create some kind of collages. I'm gonna use my transfers here. So I have this transfer, which has text and all that. So basically almost like you're using a real transfer or collage paper in your art journal. But before I put where I want this, let me bring the girl, because then we can position her and know what we are doing. So oops, shift, so it becomes, and I have to put her on the top. There we go. And so this will seem okay, like you painted her on top of the art journal. And yeah, okay. So now that I know that, I can actually bring this transfer. You know, we wanted to bring her to align with all that we are doing here, to not seem that I'm just putting stuff on top. I wanted this to be realistic. Oops. More so you can see. And let me try here a multiply. So you can see that now it seems more realistic in terms of there was a transfer paper and I put on top of her. Yeah, so it's, let me give this one here. So it's, you know, it's not on top of her, it's painted together. So I think that's the look we are going for. I would like some more, you know, texture here in this area. So let's build more texture with this. And this can come to the paper level, and then I'm going to use some multiply. Let's see. I think I'll put normal, because it's almost like a piece of paper underneath, but this is too big, so I'm gonna put a mask. And I'm gonna come with black with that texture brush here, and I'm just gonna you know, I hold my finger in the mouse to keep going, or I just give clicks. It's just I want to stress this, and that's why dynamic brushes are so fantastic, because you can just, you know, do that. I actually want to stress more this, yeah, this top stencil here. Let's distress a little more. There you go. Just destroy a little bit to be more realistic, because sometimes the stenciling is not perfect. It's good, and let's see if there is this texture stitchy here, which I love. Oops, I close it. Let's bring it again. I'm going to turn this there. And again, I always try with the blend modes, because you never know, you maybe see something interesting. I like that, because it's like you can see the stitch, but the paper is not so strong, because again, our focus point is the girl. And I want to show you something that you can use the stencils for. So let's go back to the stencils. So I have these ones, and what I love about them is that we can use them as paper as well. So I can fill them out with a pattern, or, you know, a solid color. So let's try a pattern. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to change it here. And let's put alcohol ink. I have this alcohol ink. Oh, I love this. It's very paper-like. It's from my pattern texture. And then what we can do to this a little bit, because this will be like a collage that I did here on top, so I'm going to go ahead and add a drop shadow. And let me show so you can see here what's going on. I want this size and the distance. Yeah. And then here we're going to do again separate. So we're going to, oops, create a layer, and Command Control T, right click, warp. And so I want to tuck this side, and I can, this one, but I think it's too dark, so what we're gonna do is just reduce the opacity a little bit. Okay, so it's not totally perfect there, and I know I have Gracie here, but I always like to have a saying, so I'm gonna go back to cozy. Let's see what I do here. We can, you know, just like we're doing Rio, we can just put our own words, and I'm gonna say now in your life. You know, this is whatever message you want to say to yourself. It's this one. Okay, so I want to change this font to a typewriter. This is what I like to do. And I have my favorite here. If it goes here, it has to be way smaller, so let's do 11. And I don't want to actually in the middle. Splatter brushes and put some huge splatters. And let's grab some color from here, maybe green. Oops, too big. Oops. That's the thing with a mouse, you cannot control. Alright. And I want some loops, so let's put some loops there. No, I think it's good. Okay, so I think that's good. This is our Arduino page. So really quick and really fun to make. You know, use with some words that you want, some quotes or things that you like, and it's a great thing to do that, and you're going to see that it's almost like a meditation. So I hope to see you next time.